video with the bumpy truck video. It's Thursday night and we're on our way to go do some testing, which for me just means experimenting and trying to better that last time down. So let's hope we have a pretty good night here. Friday afternoon, I'm headed back to the track. We were down at the track last night, Thursday night testing, and made 4 passes, and a couple of them were pretty good. It spun on every pass, honestly. I don't have the traction control active right now while I'm making these passes. I'm just trying to try to get it to get down the track on its own. The traction control, I don't want to rely on it. If I turn it on, I just want it to kind of be there as like a backup to maybe save a pass. It seems to work better in the high gears than the low gears. The low gears can be a little violent and it has a hard time keeping up anyways. But I had the new Shinko I just put on the bike, and so far the bike doesn't seem to be liking it. And again, that could be a little bit of power delivery, maybe tire pressure or something. It's just not happy with something. It would stick to 60 foot real good. It actually is so good that I'll show you the videos from last night. I don't have a video of my, I don't have an onboard video, I should say. I had the camera on my helmet for the first 3 passes. The 4th pass, I went back up just to change something. I noticed something in how the bike was running at the top end. I thought it was blowing spark out, and it turns out it was something else, but I'll break all that down. But I'll show you the videos from last night, and you see how it was 60 foot and really good. And it actually was, enough that it actually broke the subframe on the bike again. That's the 4th time now that I've had to fix the subframe, and the 2nd time that it's been like the day before a race. So it's Friday night. This is a 2-day race that's going on. They're running a couple classes on Friday night, and then I'll be running on Saturday. With any luck, I'll get to make another test pass or 2 tonight just to play around. It's early in the day yet. There is regular test and tune going on at the track. But yeah, I'm irritated that that subframe broke again. I've reinforced it 3 different times in 3 different areas, and it just keeps changing the place that it breaks. So I got another idea that I'm going to go ahead and do, but I had to just band-aid fix it for tonight. I didn't have time to strip the coating off the subframe and re-weld it and make a part to put in there. I was supposed to be at the track like actually 2 hours ago to help out and do some filming for some of the classes. But yeah, just kind of irritated with that subframe. It's 90% good, 10% bad. I just got to keep doctoring that 10% still until it's right. I'm just going to beef it up a lot more than I thought I had to, or I need to go on a huge, severe crash diet. But yeah, the data log showed 2 Gs at the hit, and I don't know what the Pro Street guys that are super low 60s are pulling. I imagine it's got to be that or more, but the data log on mine shows 2 Gs, and I think with my weight and that subframe, and it wasn't happy. So here's my quick fix for my busted subframe last night. You can see where it broke right there. It's breaking where all of the bends are. So I used a brake and indented the aluminum, and that's where the bend is, and just made it weak enough to break with my fat ass on it. So anyways, I just hardware store bolts, some stainless 6mm, strapped it on the backside, reinforced the other side while I was in there. That's about all I can do for now. I've already had to replate this. I've fixed up here. Now I gotta fix that. So not a big deal, but just always seems to be at the wrong time. So it's Friday night, and I'm just getting back from the track, getting ready to unload, put everything in the garage. Well, everything as in the bike. And then get it ready for tomorrow morning. I'm going to go through and service everything and head back Saturday for the MKE Real Street Takeover race. Tonight was, Friday night was the first part of the program. No bikes, but they did have some, testing opportunities available. So I made 4 passes tonight. Progressively got from really shitty to pretty decent. So I think I got something figured out. I'm going to leave it alone, and tomorrow should be a okay day. It's a no prep type race, and the track usually, any no prep, track usually comes around. So I'm hoping that the tune-up that's in it right now will get down if the track is pretty crappy at the beginning of the day. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm getting ready to pull her out, and I'm pretty actually excited about it, even though the reality is that Thursday night, last night, we were testing, and I broke the subframe because I'm not a lightweight guy, and well, it accelerates pretty hard. So broke the subframe. It's like the 4th time I've had to take the subframe off and weld it and fix it. But got off of work early Friday, planned on going down to the track early for testing and playing around, and instead I ended up, that's when I discovered it, was I was looking at the bike and everything in the trailer after work, and I noticed the subframe of the tail section was sitting crooked, and I knew right away it was broke. So unloaded it and kind of ran to the hardware store and got her fixed up enough it'll last for the weekend. But I sold the shock off the bike, so that shock will come off the bike tomorrow after the event. One of the guys that's coming to race actually is who bought it. So the shock is going away, and I'll pull the subframe off and fix that up real good this time, hopefully. And so there'll be a little bit of downtime, but I'll get to do a little bit of work because the new shock is 3 weeks out yet, I think. So in those 3 weeks, I'll just keep working on some other stuff, and we'll go from there. But for now, Friday night, first part of the MKE Street Takeover, done. I didn't get any video from tonight. Maybe somebody else got some video I'll be able to add into this at some point. My helper is actually who puts on this MKE race, so he didn't get a chance to really help me much on the starting line and film like he usually does. So he's doing his own thing. I was kind of a one-man show tonight. So tomorrow I'll kind of be one-man show again, but I'm going to try to get footage of all of the bikes because the bikes don't get any coverage at these events. So I'm going to try to cover that. So between making passes and walking around the pits, and I'll try to film what I can, but hopefully I'm going rounds and I can't film racing. So we'll go from there. So stay tuned. Well, it's Saturday morning. I feel and look like a bag of assholes. And this will be day 3 of heading down to the track. Today's the actual race though. Thursday, Friday was just testing. Last night I was filming. But I'm going to go through and sort of service the bike a little bit. And then head down to the track probably about noon today. And then racing starts at about 7. So I'm going to have a long day of just kind of hanging out. Might make some test hits. I'll probably... I'll film some stuff and, work on the bike, take a nap, have some lunch, track things. But for now, I'm going to get going on just a quick check over on the bike after running it 2 nights in a row. Everything seems fine. I'm not looking for anything in particular. Like I said, I broke the subframe Thursday night, had to fix it Friday after work. So I'll double check, make sure my repair is holding up for now. Maybe pull plugs, I'll pull a filter off and go through that, look for debris, and then I'll just reset the clutch, which I'm pretty stoked on. That I've got whatever, it could be like 8 or 9 passes on that clutch setup now. And I think if I changed anything, I think I put 1 fiber in it so far. So that whole new clutch idea I've been working with has actually been working pretty awesome. So that's all I wanted, because I wanted to be able to go, say I go rounds. I'm not expecting to win. I'm not that freaking big on myself. But the bike has to be able to go rounds with that clutch. So if it, smokes itself on every pass, it's not how I want to run the bike. So I will, double check it, and pretty stoked that it's holding up. Got to go at least, 3-4 rounds. So I got to be able to do it fast. So other than pulling the cover off to cool it down if I can, it's got to be able to be consistent and not be totally burnt after every pass. So we'll pull it apart and check it out. So hang in there. Here we go. First thing I'm going to do is get the batteries charging while I'm doing some other stuff. Just get them topped off. Let's see. Go fast charge for us. Start it. Start battery 2. Fast charge. There you go. Got both batteries charging and we're going on the clutch. So real quick, because I'm a man of budget, and I know these aren't the fancy, I think MPS makes some fancy clutch picks. If you're wondering where I got these, go to any local hardware store, and they usually have like the $1.99 tool bin, and they got the picks. Usually I have another end sticking off them with a different shape. I just cut them off and use both 90 degrees, and that's how I picked the clutch apart. So for $1.99, get some clutch tools. So all I'm really looking for here is, I know I'm into the clutch a lot on this bike. The clutch is like, it's a big part of how well the bike works, and it can either be the biggest help or the biggest hurt. And I try to just, especially this year, I'm trying to really maintain it and just measure and check and just make sure I know how much it wears, per pass or per 3 passes or 4 passes. And like I said, right now I think I've got 8, maybe 9 passes on this, and I've only swapped out 1 fiber because thickness wise it looked okay, but it looked kind of like it was smeared a little bit, and that can lead to extra debris, and I just don't want to get a bunch of crap in the clutch. So all I'm looking for right now is any kind of clutch debris that's wearing and sticking in the basket. These billet baskets are basically like, it's a contained unit. So if you get a bunch of clutch debris, it'll stay in the basket, but it'll pack itself into where all the grooves are. So all I do is take a Q-tip and I go in here and I swab out all the grooves where the clutch rides and just look for shit. Dirty, but no chunks. That's good. I think we're good. That's about all I got out of it. Just a little bit of dirt. It'll never be spotless. You just don't want a bunch of extra real thick buildup that can get down in the pan and plug the oil pickup. Oil still looks good, so I'm going to leave the oil alone. I'll probably just pull the filter apart. I'm still kind of learning the whole methanol thing, and all the rumors everybody says about it milking up the oil real bad and drawing in moisture and whatnot. So I'm just kind of watching and figuring out what kind of maintenance schedule or what kind of time frame things happen with
what I noticed going on, because I don't think the rumors that you hear, I don't think it's consistent across the board, honestly. So we'll just see what it likes. I'm going to go ahead and start going through fibers now and measuring stuff. So my overall stack height number I shoot for is 1.5. It's just kind of it's a number that worked out. They give you, when you buy a MTC Gen 2, they give you their guidelines to go by. Shoot for clutch stack this thick. That'll give you an air gap this thick, and you got to kind of. And then there's one other measurement you measure off the hat, or I measure. It's one extra measurement. To kind of maintain the happy average of all of those, I modify the stack height a little bit, which gets me a little bit closer on one of the other ones and a little bit closer on the other ones. So it's like a compromise of the three settings, or the three measurements, and those are the three I just maintain. If I maintain one, the other two should fall in line. If I check one, that I can check real quick without pulling the clutch apart. If I check that and I get a number that's off, then I know something else is changing. So it's not the numbers maybe that'll work for everybody. This is just what I've been playing with and trying to maintain now that I'm trying to put a little extra effort into this thing. But yeah, like I said, my number I'm shooting for right now is 1.5. I mean, everywhere I check it, it's almost spot on still. But then the next thing I'll do is I'll go through individually now and measure each fiber. And if I get one that's looking funny or anything goofy, I'll look at the steels too. You can see the steels are got a little bit of heat in them, but for what I've been doing with this thing, I'm pretty thrilled at how well the clutch is actually performing right now. Just a little bit of even heat, discoloring, nothing major to worry about. Actually, I can measure these two while we're at it. They don't really change, but it's good to stay fresh on the numbers so you know what you're looking for. And then I'm thinking this clutch is probably going to go right back in just how it is. Like I said, we'll pull the oil filter and put it back together. Okay, we'll pull this filter apart and see how things look. Only had a little bit of debris stuck to the magnet, just metallic dust. See in there? You see it? Look. Would you look it? Nothing in there. That's a good sign. Okay, we'll hose that up. I'm pretty sure that's a dog hair in my oil filter. Filter itself looks really good. Maybe a little bit of clutch debris, but some of that could have been in there from the last time I had a little incident. So I think we'll go ahead and just... You couldn't see any of that. We'll go ahead and just clean her out and put her back in. So third day in a row at the track, and who showed up?
I made it.
Buddy Aaron just drove, what, 2.5 hours to get here?
2.5, yeah.
Lives 2.5 hours north of here, so he came down for the MKE for the street takeover.
Let's see what happens.
Got a thing for the 03, 04, 1000. We're gonna go gear up and go through tech and make a couple test passes quick.
So stay tuned, hopefully get some footage. Well, it's Sunday morning, and we had a pretty good night last night. As you can tell, at this point in the video, you've probably already seen everything leading up to this point with the busted subframe and testing on Thursday and Friday, and then a little testing Saturday morning. I regret not getting more footage of the racing Saturday. I was kind of hoping maybe other people had some footage they could send me, and I do have some stuff, but yeah, it just got busy. I didn't go into this thing expecting to win, and I never do. I'm like, if I go a round or two, perfect, that's fine. And then just as the day went on, I was going rounds, and I just didn't have time to film. This race runs pretty quick. Not a lot of downtime between rounds, like it just goes, which is awesome. It's really a well-run event. And this is the second time I've won it, and pretty stoked on it. Like, this is a big deal. It's a big deal to me. I don't race, XDA, Pro Street, and all that stuff. I race when I can, where I can. And the guys, there were 17 bikes in the class. The ones that showed up were fast. I didn't get any easy draws, really. I've done this long enough to know that no matter how good you think you got your shit dialed in, you go to a no prep, they got cars running down doing different stuff to the track, anything can happen. And with this being a hand slider bike, you don't get that feel in the lever when it's kind of digging out of the hole to kind of save if the surface is kind of iffy. And I used to race a lot of hand clutch stuff, so I know what that's like. I'm not just talking out of school. But with the hand slider bike, it's a little more nerve-wracking, because if I miss the tune-up and I throw that lever, there's not a lot of recovery time. You can't feather it like a hand clutch. You got to just throttle in and out of it. And at that point, I run boost by time, so if I spin the tire, that timer still keeps counting. So now, by the time it hooks, if time has passed and it's already commanding my max boost, I might still be in first gear. So the bike becomes almost unrideable at full throttle. So everything has to happen from the hit for this bike to work. There's pros and cons to that. Not a lot of cons, I won't lie. The pros are phenomenal. When this thing hooks and everything starts working like it's supposed to, it's a ride. And that's the trick, is to make it always do what it's supposed to do, instantly, all the time, every time. And testing Saturday before the event was a huge help. I know there's a lot of people that are like, well, I don't think they should allow testing before an event. Whatever. It can go either way.
me personally, I think even if I go to an event where they allow testing before the race, it leads to better racing and less people guessing at tune-ups and less blowout races. And I think we saw that with the bike class yesterday, because every race was pretty close, and there, like I said, there was no easy draws. Second round was probably the most. They were all nerve-wracking. I don't even know how to compare these. Second round, I had a big motor, all motor Busa hand clutch, lightweight rider who's really fucking good, and I knew right there. I'm like, I cannot fuck up against this guy because he has the simplest, most bare bones operation going. He's gonna make a pass. Doesn't fucking matter what's going on. He's gonna make a pass. If I slip up, he's gone. I don't care if you got turbo, hand slider, all motor, hand clutch, whatever. Fast shit is fast shit. However you want to get there, whatever your recipe is, doesn't matter. Fast is fast. And I knew right away I couldn't take him lightly. And cool dude, who too, by the way. We left together, and I think he actually got in front of me for a little bit. And I don't use the scramble button on this thing a lot, so I don't have a lot of data on the button. By data, I mean I don't know if, say, in the software it says how much do you want to put on the button, say 6 pounds. That's not necessarily 6 pounds of actual boost, that's just 6 pounds on top of the wastegate. That might only make 4, could make 12, don't know. That's the data I need. So I only have 6 pounds on that button to try. So when he was with me, I grabbed the button and then I just started shifting and I pulled away, and it was close. 8th mile racing like that. Sorry, it's hot in the garage. 8th mile racing like that, it was close. And I think they said at the finish line it was maybe 2 bikes. That's how this shit can go. And talking to him afterwards was pretty funny. He was actually kind of thrilled. He's like, "Did you use the scramble button against me?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I had to try it." I'm like, you were right there. I had to go." And he's like, "All right, cool. I don't feel so bad now." So he knew how fast his operation is, putting it next to this. It was a $50 race, $50 entry, $50 gamble. This is what's fun about this style of race, where it is literally street tire, any clutch, bring it. And man, they did. Because after that, I had, again, I was going to say the next hardest draw, but probably one of, if not the freaking fastest bike on the property was Money Mike Studebaker. Big motor, lots of nitrous. They're actually, he's an awesome dude, but Shannon from OSR is the one that helps him out, and I'm pretty good buddies with Shannon. And because I know what they use that bike for, I don't even ask Shannon how big the motor is or how much they're spraying it. Just stay out of it. That's his operation outside of us being friends. So that's all I know. It's a big motor with lots of nitrous. And he's won a ton of shit. So to sit next to him, actually, not only was it kind of an honor to be, paired up with him, but I was fucking nervous again. If I do anything stupid, I don't, this isn't a guaranteed win no matter what, but if I do anything stupid, he's fucking gonna leave me in the dust anyways. And so again, all this is no timing system. There's no pre-stage, stage, none of that. You just get up on the line, one lane, the other lane, you nod when you're ready, and they hit the light. So we're ready to go, hit the light. I left. I didn't see him, wasn't looking for him, but I was out enough that he wasn't right there, obvious in my peripheral, so I was feeling good. And as I just kept banging gears, and again, I got on the scramble button, I was banging gears, and we're getting to the stripe, and I hear him. Oh man, it's gonna be over. We get to the stripe, and he got past me. I bet you he had 10, 15 miles an hour on me, and we didn't know who won. In my gut, I thought I edged him out. I got a pretty good judge of distance. I thought I edged him out, and I was feeling okay, but don't know. I had to look at the video. On return road, I hopped, off my bike, ran up to the wall, and they're filming from both lanes at the finish line, filming across each other. So they had footage from both sides to see which bike was in front, and I'll put the still photo up here. of, it's actually a screenshot, so we're blurred, but the starting line, or the finish line is visible, and you can see the outlines of the bikes. And literally at the stripe, I'm at the stripe, I beat him by a tire, so whatever, 20 inches. And at that speed, I don't think you can see that with a naked eye. So that was a huge, probably biggest unexpected win of the night for me. And so that was third round. 17 bikes, the buy keeps moving, they bump the buy down. So that win in that race got me a buy to the final. So I was freaking thrilled. So now I had the option of making my buy run or waiting. And it lucked out that we're so far into the event that they start running it pretty quick. I'm like, I'm not going to make my buy, because if I make that pass, I'm not going to have time to cool the bike off. I mean, I could do it and I would still run the bike, but I played it safe, and I'm like, I'm going to let the bike sit and be cool. I'll wait until the next pair runs. That winner would race me in the final. The winner of that race that I ended up getting paired up with in the final was another Turbo 1000 that is probably the fastest, quickest, and fastest bike that goes to our track, quarter mile wise. I don't want to talk times with those guys, because I do, they're friends of mine, I do respect what they do, and I don't want to put all their business out there. So I won't even share what my bike was running for the event. I know I posted time slips from the other night from an open test and tune sticky night, but for this race there was no time slips, clocks off, all that business. My data log will tell me how fast this went, how far, with pretty decent accuracy. So I just, win or lose where those guys were compared to me, I don't want to give that up, I guess. I mean, anybody who watches the races could probably figure out roughly what's going on, but I'll let them share their info if they want. But I was, again, nervous. First 2 rounds, I got put in the right lane, so I got superstitious. I kind of wanted to stay in the right lane. Third round against Money Mike, we ended up flipping for it because we both wanted the right lane because we were having pretty good luck in it. So Mike won the toss. He got right lane, I got left. Left lane's normally the preferred lane at the track for most other people. I personally don't care. During an event like that, the track, both lanes are really equal. The only time I feel that the left lane is ever better is on test and tune nights, when everybody just keeps running the left lane. It just holds heat better, it stays sticky. So I'm used to being in the left lane, so it's not like I was scared of it. I was just, superstition. I kind of wanted to stay in right lane, but whatever. So again, I got put in the left lane against Money Mike. I won that one. Now, me and John both, I asked him, I'm like, what lane do you want? I usually give other people lane choice. I'm just not picky like that. I don't care. I should be able to get down either lane. And he said he wanted right lane. I'm like, fine, you can have it. And this is just after we had like maybe an hour-long oil down. A test and tune car went up and had coolant and oil from the 330 to the 8th mile in the left lane. They cleaned it up, and that's the lane I was going to get. And they cleaned it up pretty freaking good. But the final round comes around. I know I got my work cut out for me, and again, I'm not expecting to win, so I'm just going to do my best. What I always do, just same routine. And I brought me in, went back, hit the flashlight, and I left on him and never saw him. Turns out he spun just a little bit and couldn't catch me. I don't know how close it was at the finish line. I didn't look back to check. One of the other guys that was down that kind of almost by the 8th mile, he said I was out in front of him by a good bit. So I'll take a good bit, whatever it may be, 1 bike or 20 bikes, whatever. I'll take a good bit as a good bit. But yeah, so I ended up winning the thing. And it's only the 4th or 5th time I've had the bike out this year, and still playing with the methanol, and Maybe I'll do another video at some point and kind of explain. I haven't even looked at the data logs from the 4th pass I made in testing. The bike was good. First two. Third one, it spun. I tried more power, it spun. So I had my window, my high limit, low limit kind of thing. 4th pass, I went up and made in testing. Perfect. And I decided I was just going to leave it alone. So that's where the bike stayed. First, second, third, and final round. And I never touched the clutch. I didn't change nothing. I would make my pass, come back, pull the cover off, cool the clutch down, put fuel in it, check the tire, and put air in for the boost control and shifter. And then I would have something to drink. I didn't even look at the data logs. I didn't even need to get in my own head and start overthinking stuff. Left it alone, and it worked. So there's 8 passes on this clutch with no maintenance, and the tune only took maybe 3 adjustments, minor adjustments I should say, to get it where it was to where it ended up winning the event. And like I said, maybe I'll do another video and kind of break down what I learned, because this is still, it was a learning curve. I learned more Saturday morning than I have in this segment of the tuning than I learned all last year. Just those 3-4 passes I made, it taught me a lot, and I'd like to go into that at some point because I think it's pretty cool, and maybe it'll help a lot of other people understand a little bit about, you know, what it takes to kind of control things. But yeah, so we won the deal. I'm pretty stoked. So ended up being $1,480. I'll take that. That's huge to me. That's another, that's a house payment. I got a roof for another month. Maybe now I won't be such a broke dick. I can go buy myself another Drag Max or something to try. But this was on a Shinko 190, just a regular hookup on a unprepped track. And I say unprepped as in they did not prep it. It was just left alone. And it did get good because the cars were running down it and had heat in it. It had some tack, but it wasn't like a super sticky. They weren't spraying and dragging or nothing. So everything just freaking worked. It was my night. You know, I had a silver spoon up my butt or something. So now I'm going to take a little time off because I did sell the shock off this bike, and I'm going to pull the shock off. I'm going to deliver that. It's actually a buddy of mine that's up north that bought it. So I'm going to take the shock off. I'll deliver that. And then I got a new shock from LKG on the way. That's about, he said probably about 3 weeks out right now. So I'm gonna have 3 weeks of downtime. So that'll give me, there's a couple house projects I wanna do that'll kind of help. I'll still be at the track, you know, randomly here and there, just kind of watching, you know, help out, whatever. But I'm gonna take the subframe that I busted Thursday night, and I'm gonna pull that all apart and re-engineer that deal so it doesn't break again. And if you ever looked at the pictures of my bike, you can see that where the gas tank part of the seat is, or where my seat pan is, there's like a 1/2 inch step there. Well, I couldn't lower the tank anymore because it hits the frame right in here. So what I'm going to do is, because I have to redo the subframe anyways, the subframe is actually where the rear part of the gas tank mounts. So I'm going to take and lower that down a 1/2 inch, and then I'm just going to trim the tank to clear the frame. So I'm actually going to probably gain about a 1/2 inch, or I'll lower the 1/2 inch of ride height or seat height. So that'd be kind of a cool little thing to do. My knees are already up in my chin when I'm on this thing anyway, so I think it'd be kind of funny looking if I'm sitting lower yet. But yeah, I'm like beside myself happy with not only what it took to kind of learn to get it down the track, but just how well it ran. And it wasn't given to me. I didn't get a bunch of lesser bikes. I had to race every combo there, from all motor hand clutch, huge motor nitrous hand clutch, to turbo hand slider. It was the complete mix, and it was fucking awesome. So if it looks like our camera is at a little bit of a different angle right now, it's because it is, and what you're not going to catch is that little snip right there is where I had to edit out my camera falling over. So yeah, let's finish this video up, and then I'm going to go mow my lawn. But yeah, like, you know, things people question about the bike that I've found to be working awesome. The myths about methanol that I've been hearing, I'm disproving them every time I take the bike out or put it in the garage, store it, whatever. Best advice I can give on that is talk to people that actually use it. Don't talk to the people that know a buddy that have a friend that heard about things that it does. You'd be surprised what you can do if you just ask the people that are going fast on it, and you know, just listen. The right info is out there. And even things like the no charging system, no cooling system, RC car batteries, those 8 passes Saturday, I never charged the batteries. Those RC car batteries are working fucking awesome. Then, like I said, it starts out about 16 volts. It's like 15.8, 16 volts right in there. After those 8 passes, it was still 15.2 when I put it in the trailer. And I was running the headlight, actually going through the shutdown. I turned the headlight on so the people could see me coming through the shutdown. And then on the return road, so like people that were expecting me to come back could see that I was okay coming back on the return road. So I turned the headlight on for that. But yeah, those 2 batteries hold up like champs. Like that was one of the biggest problems I had before, when it had the cooling system on it and the regular high performance, whatever, pick your brand of lithium batteries or whatever, was running a water pump, running the fan, putting a battery charger on it, and just all this extra work. And now there's no work. Like I said yesterday, I'd make a pass, I'd go back to the pits, put a fan on the clutch, check the tire, put air in the arm, top off the fuel, and sit down and have a beverage. Like, I could have looked at data and whatever, but I didn't feel there was a need to. Bike was just running awesome. But just taking all them little things out of the equation has made this bike so much more fun to run. And I'm looking forward to running more. So we'll get the shock off of it, get the subframe fixed, and maybe do a couple other little tweaks. But now that I got that right there, that's going to help a ton. And I think I'm going to, while I have money to use, I'm going to order a couple clutches. I think I might get a tire and buy some fuel, and be plenty of basically buying supplies to put it, take the money, put it back in the bike, buy supplies, and make it through the rest of the year. I'll do a freshen up on this thing over the winter, but for now we're just going to keep pushing it. I love it. I couldn't be happier with this thing. And all the bad days and the tire spinning passes all led to this. That if you're not going out and trying to spin the tire, you're not going to learn nothing. And you just got to try to spin it at the right time. And I think it's all paid off now. So, yeah, I mean, God, I wish I had better footage for you guys. And maybe at some point, it's still early from the event. Maybe at some point, people will send me some video, or I can find somewhere that I can put in at some point in another video here to show you guys, because the racing was really good and really close. And yeah, just such an awesome event. So the next one, if you're watching this and you're close to Wisconsin, southeast corner, Milwaukee area, Union Grove, Great Lakes Dragway, the next one of these races is September 10th and 11th, Friday and Saturday. Friday night would be nothing if you're a bike guy, you want to come out. Friday night would be nothing you got to worry about. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to run a couple of the car classes that got a little lower car count. They get it done Friday, and that's a freaking blast, because it's it's Friday. Not everybody has been sleeping in, or people coming from work to go and race into the evening. So it's nice to have a small, easier event for them to race. But if you're a bike guy and you want to come to that event, we'll be running on a Saturday. If you get there early enough, you can test. And it's really, they try to make it like a street race theme feel kind of night. They turn off a lot of the lights at the track. Track is still lit enough that you can see to be safe, but there's a very cool vibe. It's a very cool event, and it's very well run. And yeah, if you were to come Saturday, you test all day, and first round is usually about 7 o'clock as the sun's going down, and I recommend anybody come and try it. You see me or you show up, stop by the trailer and give me a heads up, and I'll bring extra beverages and snacks. So let's have fun with this thing. So maybe we'll see you at the next one. Otherwise, stay tuned for the next video, because it's either going to be some more fabrication stuff or more racing, one of the two. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
I said I was going to go mow my lawn today. Here we are.